pre-apologize for maybe some glitches in the internet just because we haven't figured out the Wi-Fi yet. So hopefully it's okay. Um, hopefully. Okay. So we've got lots of questions today. Today is a Q&A. We are going to end today's Q&A with talking about Britney Spears. So I know that you guys have wanted to know and wanted me to tap into that for a while. So I do have information. I just didn't really think that it was needed, but clearly this is a topic that is really prevalent, and I'm glad that it's prevalent because we got to be talking about this. So we'll talk all about Britney Spears, what's going on with her, and like why she is where she is right now. Yeah, and then other than that, we're talking about angels, cryptocurrency, we're talking about karma, and reincarnation, and just a ton of other really great stuff. I have an ask for at least one of you, and I'm sure there's going to be multiple, but if one of you that are in the comments, one of the members, do you mind doing timestamps? So kind of just doing like maybe a topic header and then what time that topic starts, and then posting the timestamps per question in the comments after below this video would be great. And then I can pin that comment and then everyone can just go to the questions that they're really curious about. That really helps me out, and it definitely helps the community out too. So thank you for someone for doing that. And I think other than that, not a whole lot of business going on, just kind of in between the membership and other things like that. If you guys want, I do have a V course that has been released, and it's just a series of videos talking about really incredible techniques on how to clear any fear in your body and basically how to work with the quantum world into kind of letting go of any sort of old energy that you have. So that's out. It's really fantastic, and I think that it's important that we clear that fear. So just know that that's out. Other than that, you know, I think we're just all kind of floating along. So I really appreciate you being here. Of course, like and share this video if it resonates with you, and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Okay, let's just get right into it. First question here from Hannah. Do the angelic beings have their own planet, or do they just live on another dimension on planet Earth? Okay, cool. So I'm definitely not an expert in every single species and where they live and what that looks like, but I do know quite a bit about the angels. I want to say that I've never seen the angels inhabit a planet, which is really, I don't know, I guess interesting. Typically, angels reside in the 7th and 11th dimension. The 11th dimension is an etheric dimension. So really like, I want to say like after 10, so 10, 11, 12, all etheric dimensions, which means that they're existing separate from source, but they're not existing in a physical form, if that makes sense. So in my mind, if there are physical angels, then they must exist somewhere that is physical to support their physical form, especially in the 7th dimension. However, I have not seen them existing on a planet or in a physical dimension. So I can't really fully answer that question. There is like a place where a lot of the archangels go. It's kind of like, I want to say like Mount Olympus, but it is very, I mean, there are structures, there are buildings there, but they're not physical, right? So yeah, it's so curious. I've never, ever, ever channeled the angels on a planet. I want to say no, but I don't actually fully know. But there's got to also be physical angels as well. I know that I've met many earth angels, which are basically angelic beings who are embodying a physical body at this time. I'm sure a lot of you are actually earth angels. And I just want to say thank you so much, Angelo, for that really generous super chat. And also thank you, Pam, for that very generous super chat as well. Really appreciate the support. And I really appreciate all of you guys being members, because that allows me to really create a lot of free content for other people who can't afford the membership. So you're not just supporting me, you're supporting the world as well. So, okay, so hopefully that kind of answers your question. It was a good question. don't really have a full answer for you, but I've personally never experienced angels on a physical planet before, or I've never even met an angel that said, I live on planet Zulu. There's never been that before. But doesn't mean that it's not possible, because anything is possible. Okay, Jennifer A, another 12-month member, so thank you, Jennifer. And even Hannah's a 12-month member, so fantastic. Hello, I am very curious about the energies surrounding digital currency. I've seen the question asked here before, but I don't think it got answered. Some think of it as bad, while others think no. Some think of it as good, while others fear that ultimately it is going to be controlled by big tech and those with a dark agenda. Therefore, if you don't do as they want, they could cut ties to your currency. So what do you get out of this one? Okay, good question. I don't think I have actually ever really talked about or channeled cryptocurrency before, or just digital currency. Something so interesting. A couple weeks ago, there was an article posted to say Canada might be one of the first. There's been other small countries, but I think one of the first, like the biggest countries, or the first world country who is looking at getting rid of cash altogether. That freaks me out. Like, that freaks me right out. Because it's not that I don't believe in the banking system, but who's to say that there's the bunch of numbers in an account, are gonna, it's not backed by anything, right? I'm like, I need the physical, material in my hand to understand that this is what wealth is, right? So I'm definitely a big believer in precious metals, gold, silver, mostly silver, but gold's good too. And just the thought of a country getting rid of cash is like, wow. Okay, cool. So you didn't get the V, so guess what? We're gonna put your funds on a hold. Your own money. Like, it just really freaks me out. Okay. So with cryptocurrency, I have also heard both sides of the debate. One is like, wow, we get to be free from our country, kind of that control within our country. And then the other side of the debate is like, oh my God, this is the new world order. This is globalization, and this is not good. So I don't know. I've never channeled it, but I'm going to tap into it. I want to see, I want to maybe just go to the Galactic Federation, because I don't know who else could answer this. And maybe there's like a finance division, an Earth finance division with the Galactic Federation, or maybe I need to talk to G with the Timeline Council to see, like, it's so funny. Like, I'm already getting information. Both sides do exist, right? There is corruption within the digital currency system, and there is liberation and freedom within the digital currency system. Of course, right? This is the quantum world. Like, we are in between, multiple different dimensions and frequencies simultaneously. That is the definition of being quantum. Well, it's not. Quantum is just small. Okay, let me just ask. 1 second. Right. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So my question to them, to the GFL, was, should we fear it or should we embrace it, right? And their answer was both and neither simultaneously. So they were basically saying that there are big players within the digital or crypto finance system that are white hats. Okay, kind of discussed white hats a little bit in the previous weeks. And then there are also big players within the crypto digital system that are extremely corrupt, that absolutely do have our worst interest in mind. So then I said, well, what do you recommend? Like, what do you suggest? And they went back to the same thing that they've said time and time and time again about finances, which is have as many options at your disposal as possible. So don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't say, all right, cool, like, I'm going to believe in crypto, so I'm going to get rid of all my money and I'm going to put it in crypto. Don't do that, okay? So whether it be digital money, okay, or physical cash in your hand, some money in the bank account, some money dedicated towards preparation and survival stuff, okay, because that is definitely an investment in many of the potential timelines that are out there. And then I also highly, highly recommend precious metal without a doubt. So the GFL has said this for at least a year or two now, is what they recommend is dividing your assets, whatever your assets are. Maybe your asset is like $1,000. Spend $5 here and $5 there and $5 there. Okay, do what you can with what you have, but do not put all your eggs in one basket. And that's just really, really important with regard to finances. Okay. And thank you so much, Sprinkle of Spirituality, and Stefanos, and Allison for those beautiful super chats. Thank you so much. Yeah, so interesting. There's not a definitive answer here. There's not a crypto is good or crypto is bad. There's not just one path for this. There's multiple. So that's why the GFL especially is the word would be like evasive or coy, because they don't want to lock in one timeline, because all of the timelines are existing simultaneously. And it's very difficult to say that this is the thing that's going to happen, especially in today, right? It's just everything's up in the air, it feels like. So I do recommend that if you do have extra and you don't know how to invest it, I do recommend investing in property, and precious metals is really what I recommend. And once again, survival material is what I recommend as well. If you're looking to put your money somewhere, anything else is pretty sketchy right now, including the stock market, especially the stock market. So take it or leave it. All right, next question is from here. Where? Here. I love it. Okay, hi EA and friends. I have a real issue with cutting grass and picking flowers. Does it bother them? Do they feel any negative effects from being cut or picked? Awesome. I really like this question. I don't think I've ever answered this question before. So from what I understand at a scientific level, even though plants don't have a nervous system, it's been proven time and time again that they can interpret, feel. I don't know, like it's not like they have emotions, but it's actually this is the wildest study that I've read. Don't know who it was by, but basically they proved that, oh yeah, stress response, that's what it was. There was a stress response from the plant that was beside the plant that was getting cut. Ever since I read that, I've always been very, I garden and stuff, right? So I've always been very communicative telepathically with my plants, especially when I'm trimming them and stuff. And I said, this is going to make you grow healthier and stronger and going to make you better, so I try and oh my goodness, I transplanted some plants the other day. Apparently there's a transplant shock that they go through, and I literally almost died. I'm so sorry for transplanting you way too late in your growth. I just wanted to give you more room, and my neighbor was kind of cutting the grass beside our property, and I'm talking out loud to these plants. Anyway, it's crazy hippie chick apparently. So here's my take. Okay, here's my take, is that no matter what it is, as long as it's living, it has a consciousness. Literally, I think it was it Nat or my brother? I think it was my brother who killed a mosquito in front of me the other day, and the devastation on my face. And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, look, don't just not kill things when you're in front of me, but also just not kill things in general. So, and this is coming from someone who does eat meat, okay? So I know it's the biggest hypocritical thing in the world, but every time we cut the grass, every time we buy flowers, every time we buy spinach from the store, okay, we're technically killing something. So what can we do? Do we just starve ourselves completely and sacrifice and become a martyr for the world so that the world can keep on growing and living? Or do we transmute the energy and the trauma that took place when that plant was being picked or that pig was being killed, and give them love, give them meaning to their life, right? Like I literally I reverse back to when that dynamic situation happened, and I thank that living organism. And I do that with my tomatoes, I do that with my fish, I do that with my garden, I do that with my grass. And yeah, I personally, I don't like, I do buy flowers actually for my mom every Mother's Day, but I personally don't like having cut flowers in my house because it just feels like it's like a momentary beauty, you know? I don't know, but that's just a personal opinion. So that's kind of what I believe. We can't just, I mean, you should see my grass right now. I don't know if I can turn you. It's long. It's really long. It needs to be cut. But give every living thing love. That's all I have to say. It doesn't matter what your diet is. It doesn't matter what you choose to do. It doesn't matter if you kill mosquitoes or not, all right? Just if you do end up reacting and smacking a mosquito, give it love. Thank it for being around. I try and do that with every roadkill that I see, with every gravesite that I pass. I mean, I'm always opening portals and giving love and releasing that energy and frequency. Okay, so hopefully that helps. Like I said, it probably sounds really wicked, you know, hypocritical of me to be eating meat and to say don't kill living things. But if you do, because all plants are living things and they do have feelings and they do have consciousness, then just give it love. Give it the love and the appreciation that it respects, that it deserves. Okay. All right, next question here from Kaylee. Brand new member. So thank you, Kaylee, for being here. Hello, EA, and all of your wonderful students and teachers. When the birth of the new Earth is successfully completed, will our karmic ties die along with the new Earth? And if so, does this mean we are free from reincarnation? This is a fantastic question, Kaylee. Thank you. If this isn't possible, what can we do to break our karmic links? Amazing. So yes, my second book that I'm in the middle of writing right now, it's about halfway done, is all about karma. But like karma, like you've never, ever, ever thought of it before. It blew my mind. Like the information just came through me, but it's really mind blowing. It's basically, this whole book is about the karmic cycles and how those karmic cycles are going to change when moving into a new frequency, a new dimension. So it's like really next level. What I can say about this is that, yes, I can confirm from my own channeling that we are breaking any and all karmic ties right now at this time. That's why we're doing a lot of work. That's why we're purging out all the shit, you know, is because we're breaking all the karmic ties. And so stepping into that new Earth, I do believe that those karmic ties are going to be broken. I believe that, okay, I'm trying to figure out an example of this. There is one timeline. There is one possibility where a giant cosmic wave, this is what I saw, this is what the GFL showed me in my very first meeting with them back in 2011. This is one timeline, okay? A giant cosmic wave, kind of like a solar flare, but it's a cosmic burst. I don't know how else to say that. The way that it looked like to me was it looked like a white kind of like blanket sort of energy hitting the planet, penetrating right through the planet. And apparently what I was told back then was that this wave of frequency is intelligent. It's not just energy, it's intelligent energy. And it was going to basically decide if we are able to move into the new frequency or not. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means people are going to pass away, people are going to be kind of absorbed, taken to another 3D planet. Not sure. Okay, I don't know. This is just what I saw. And then what else? Oh yeah, so what I believe is that right now we are all doing this like intuitive, organic, karmic clearing work. So those weeks that you feel really, really crappy and your whole body is painful and you're really, really hungry, or you're not really hungry, or you're really thirsty, or you're just sleeping a lot, those are the weeks, those are the times when you're releasing past life energy. And the problem is that you have no idea where that exhaustion is coming from. You have no idea where that feeling of being sick is coming from. It's actually coming from these past lifetimes, and you're purging it out. If we got hit by this giant cosmic wave tomorrow, all right, and you haven't done any of that work, then moving from all of the layers and all of the emotions and all of the attachments and all of the traumas from past lifetimes, let alone this life and childhood, going from that place, that vibrational frequency level, to the fifth dimension frequency, to a higher frequency, when and if this cosmic wave were to hit, that jump would be so extreme that it's like the body wouldn't make it. It wouldn't be able to make it. So I believe that right now we're all kind of doing the work, raising our frequency, even though we've all kind of had 3D weeks and we're like back here, but we have the capability and the tools now to move into a higher frequency, which means that when this wave, if this wave were to hit, a lot of us are going to be, it's a small jump to get from here to here. I don't know if that cosmic wave is going to hit. I haven't heard too much about it from the GFL recently, because I think there are many other possibilities to transform and shift us into higher frequencies. There are other routes, there are other directions to go when making that shift. So I know that that cosmic wave is one of them, and I also know that they have the technology to basically obstruct the cosmic wave from hitting planet Earth. So fascinating. Okay. All right. Ashana, hi EA, how would one know that their clairaudient and clairvoyant abilities are opening up? And also, how can we develop these abilities better? Cool. So, like, for example, right, like, clairaudient is the ears and hearing, clairvoyant is the sight and seeing. So if your clairaudient abilities are opening up, you're going to hear a lot of ringing in your ears. Your ears are going to be popping often. Like, I don't know if you know what I mean by popping, but I don't have ringing, but my ears pop all the freaking time. Only when I'm making like a very profound kind of statement, and it's like, boop. It's like a little validation. It's bizarre. And then also, like, that if your clairaudient abilities are opening up when you start to hear stuff like, hey, did you hear that conversation? Does it sound like drumming? Like, and I know this because my wife is extremely clairaudient, to the point where last night I wanted to turn on the like AC. We have like a little window AC because our place doesn't have AC. And I'm like, yeah, it's like hot and muggy here. Can I turn on the AC? And she's like, no, don't turn it on. And I'm like, why not? She's like, because the white noise of the AC actually opens portals, she was saying, and she didn't sleep the whole other night because the AC was on, and she just kept hearing like conversations and beings and just other things. And I'm like, okay, cool, we won't turn it on. But that's like, clairaudient people are able to tap into static noise and like basically open portals and go places with their ability to hear. Personally, I am so grateful I am not clairaudient, because I would feel like I was losing my freaking mind if I was hearing voices in my head. I'm already seeing a lot of shit. I don't need that, okay? But clairaudience is pretty cool, right? And just like a radio, you can turn to certain frequencies within your clairaudient abilities, and you can hear different things in different dimensions. Super awesome. Always work with white light, and always question the beings, the entities, the energies, the conversations. Is this of the highest frequency? And if you do not get a response, or it doesn't feel like unconditional love, then move away from it. And it's just the discernment and the protection, so important. And then the clairvoyant abilities with the third eye and the seeing things is you start to see like flashes, you start to see like orbs passing you, you start to see shadowy things from the corner of your eye. So seeing a lot of things more often, or I don't know if you guys have this, but when someone tells me a story, like just a story of their life, like could have happened 10, 20, 30 years ago, and they were at this hotel and this happened, like I get visually transported there. When I'm listening to someone's story, I am seeing it all as it went down, like as it happened back then, which I think is pretty cool because my whole life is like a movie. It's just like a giant movie that I get to witness and see. So yeah, so visuals, all of that is going to be much more amplified. Yeah, with the clairvoyant abilities. And then I just want to mention one more ability that you're going to be tuning into, which is clairsentience. I believe that we all have all of these. It's not just one per person. It's just we get to dabble, but there are ones that are stronger than others. And with the clairsentience is all knowing. And it's cool because I'm sure you guys are clairsentient, psychic. Psychic is more precognitive, which is you know things before they happen. Clairsentient is you just know in that moment. And clairsentience is great. So when you're like, oh, like, hey, I don't know why, but you should really pick up like a cleaning product when you go to the store. And you're like, we don't need cleaning product. And then there's this huge spill later that day. And you're like, oh my God, you were so intuitive about knowing that we needed cleaning product. Or someone's like, how does that window mechanism work? And you're like, I don't know. Actually, I do know. This is how it works. And they're like, whoa, how did you know that? And you're like, I don't know. So it's like knowing things without knowing how you know them is clairsentience. And that's going to happen more and more often, but we have to be tuned in to our mind, to our thoughts, to our reactions, to our communications. You guys are so psychic. And if you don't think you are, you're just not listening in the right direction, let's say. Cool. Oh yeah, and then second question here from Ashna. Were Lord Krishna and Lord Shiva interdimensional beings as they have been portrayed having blue skin in different pictures and art? I don't know much about the Hindu, I believe it's Hindu gods. I love Hinduism. I love Buddhism. I love those. I love even Taoism too. It's great. And from what I've channeled, that yes, Krishna and Shiva were interdimensional beings, and certain people had the ability, just like me, to tune into these interdimensional beings and bring their vibration through. These interdimensional beings were also capable and able to step into physical forms and physical bodies as well. And typically they are portrayed as being extremely large, which I'm not surprised because back then there were a lot of, Anunnaki and just like mystical, fae type of beings as well on this planet. So nothing surprises me anymore. Okay. So a question here from Rachel Gardner. Hi, EA. I would love to know more about the moon wobbling. What is really happening and what will the effects be here on Earth? Great question. A lot of you wanted to know the answer to this question. And then some of you even commented that I just answered this question in the Galactic Federation channel, which I did. And that is free and it's on YouTube. So if you haven't seen my last video channeling the Galactic Federation and some really epic questions, please go check it out because it will shift you, it will align you, it will make you feel a hell of a lot lighter after you watch the video. So please go do that. Once again, totally free. I really just felt the need, like they needed to come through for everyone and give really important messages to you guys. So go check that out after this. And then what else? We've got 2 more questions here. Okay, so from Mia Goodyear. Hi EA, I've been wondering if you can channel the different blood types and origins of what species of each and where they could have originated from. And then you go on to talk about the AB negative and the AB positive and how your mom had a lot of difficulty being pregnant and giving birth and the blood transfusions and all of that. So I just want to mention that I believe that every blood type is specifically associated with a cosmic lineage line. Without a doubt, in my mind, blood types are related to cosmic dabbling, okay? But I have not yet, as of yet, sat down to really channel that. So I'm hoping in my life at one point I will definitely sit down and say AB negative is connected to the Pleiades, O positive is connected to the angels. Who knows, right? But I do believe from what I've channeled from the GFL that there are about 20 to even 25 different species that have all mingled their DNA with humans. And I'll just kind of mention, but definitely go check out my book if you don't know this. And just go check out my book anyway. This is your sign right now, okay? I never talk about my book, but I really believe in it. I think it's epic. I think it will really shift your DNA and give you a lot of validation. And it's all over Amazon. So it's called You're Not Dying, You're Just Waking Up. But here are the 5 main species that I believe have been connected with us and spliced their DNA with our DNA. The Greys, the Palladians, the Anunnaki, the Reptilians, and was it the angels? Greys? Anunnaki, Reptilian, Palladian. I don't think it was was it the angels? Yep, I don't know. I don't know. You're going to have to read the book now. You're going to have to figure that out. For whatever reason, I don't know if the angels, because of that first question that we answered, are physical enough to splice their DNA with us. So maybe that's a question for next time that I can answer. But good question. I'll get around to the blood types and the origins and the species at another time, but that's like a whole me needing to sit down and really focus and concentrate and channel that. That's not a quick answer that I can get. Okay, last question here about Britney Spears. That's kind of, the main topic. A lot of you have asked me this question, honestly, week after week, I think since her documentary got aired or released. And then she's been all over the news. I don't follow the news. I have no idea what's going on with Britney. From what I've read in your comments, there's a free Britney movement that's happening. I don't know why they're even saying that she's trapped. Okay, but. Many, many years ago, back in especially 2012, but really getting started 2010, 2011, I was like super, super, super deep into 4D, the fourth dimension frequency, all about corruption, all about reptilians, all about the Illuminati, all about celebrities, all about shape-shifting, all about what are they doing, the New World Order, like bam, 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 like just so intense about it. All my artwork, all my paintings reflected how, angry I was, really. Now, luckily, I've kind of moved past that phase, but I did channel, believe it or not, I did channel Britney Spears' energy way back then, okay, before any of this came out. Now, I want to just validate a couple things about her energy and who she is, and I think why this is all happening at this time. Britney Spears is a huge part, like almost the poster child of the MK Ultra programming. Okay? If you don't know what MK Ultra programming is, I highly recommend look it up. And maybe you want to look it up on a safe browser like DuckDuckGo. All right? But in short, MK Ultra is a mind control program that they would put children through, especially children that they chose to do specific things, but they also put just regular everyday children through MK Ultra. Like one of my Shift Masterclass students was a extremely heavily abused MK Ultra victim. I mean, you just couldn't imagine what this woman has gone through and how strong she is and how much she transformed her life, especially given that Shift Masterclass. I mean, and I gave it to her for free. She deserved it. Every second of that, and so it involves brainwashing. It involves heavy amounts of sexual abuse. It involves like just experimenting. Like it's really messed up. Now, the governments officially say that MK Ultra got shut down in the 60s, I believe. But it didn't. It just changed names, and it's still taking place today. Now, I believe that Britney Spears, once again, is the poster child for this MK Ultra programming, which means that these individuals who have been programmed, okay, they're just not conscious. Like, think about someone being on their full-time autopilot program, and having someone called a handler. Believe it or not, there's something called a handler, and they are able to control, through, sometimes it's actually through, I don't know if it's like spell casting what they do with their hands, but also through like verbal command, they can control these individuals. Now, if you, this is going to be interesting to look up. I don't know how you would look this up, but look up, celebrities frozen or frozen celebrities. And it's really wild how certain celebrities will be live and they'll just be like this, and then they'll freeze and they're on live TV. And that stuff you can't redo and shut down. Like, it's really honestly sad, what these individuals have gone through. But, even people like newscasters, like even more like everyday people have gone through this type of programming. And unfortunately, children and adults are going through this programming today. Now, if you really take a look at, say, Britney Spears and her videos, the content in her videos, music videos, just music in general, even Beyonce, I mean, it's rampant, and they all give the Illuminati symbols, like black and white tiles on the ground are a pretty good signifier. Obviously, all of the 666, the one eye type of thing, the Illuminati. I mean, what that does is it gives this recognition of, I'm a part of this club, and this is why I am famous and rich, right? And it's really messed up. So I believe that, and I just want to say too, the Disney Channel is probably the worst culprit for this. All of the kids who have been a part of the Disney Channel have all gone through this ritualistic abuse, and they usually have some sort of breakdown in their 20s. I mean, how could you not, right? So I believe that Britney has been through, every type of abuse you could think of, and she's not allowed to speak about it. And now with this Free Britney movement, now I don't know why people are saying Free Britney. I don't know if they really believe that she's like part of the Illuminati and like she's been through MK Ultra programming and they want her to be free and live her best life. I don't know if that's the sentiment, or if it's like Free Britney from her manager. Like, I don't know how deep that sentiment goes, but I want to mention that I think it's really incredible how people are recognizing how messed up the industry is, no matter what level of recognition that is. I think that that's really important. And the fact that we can all rally together around someone who we would all assume has just lived this privileged, amazing Beverly Hills type of lifestyle, and we can rally together to say, actually, she has been suffering the entire time, and it's only the top 1%, it's only the managers, the agents, the industry that has been benefiting off of her. Once again, I haven't seen the documentary, so I don't really know what's out there and what people are getting all riled up about, but that's the information that I have channeled, and I think it's huge. It's honestly, it's such a message, full circle, that we are now can rally behind and recognize that celebrities have been abused and just used this entire time. And I think more disclosure, more corruption, more truth is going to come out at us in the next couple of years. And we'll just kind of see where that goes from there. So thank you all so much, as always, for being here. I want to mention too, I am recording tons of podcast episodes. I finally have a soundproof room to do that. So I'm very excited. These podcast episodes are literally all of the downloads that I've had in the past 3 months of not recording into the podcast. So they're really great. They're really epic. So if you haven't checked out my podcast, it's free and it's free of ads. So go check it out. It's called Expand with Elizabeth April on all of the podcasting platforms. And we still have an amazing audiobook ready for you as well, and it should be coming out, I'm thinking, in the next 2 months or so. So Love you all so, so much. Keep up the good work. Sending you all super good vibes, and I will see you all in the next Q&A and probably other content as well. Bye for now. I'll see you all in the fifth dimension.